Welcome to the Mario Perspective USA show. After the big, gigantic tsunami wave of last Tuesday, November the 5th, the Democrats are now coming up with excuses of why they lost the election. What was the reason? Why did they lose the election? That's what you hear on TV, MSNBC, CNN, and other news outlets, regardless if it's TV or podcast, all types of information outlets. And they're saying maybe it's because the President Biden didn't leave a year before and there was no primaries in the Democratic side. And that's one of the reasons why. Remember something, when he stepped down, he is the one who endorsed Kamala Harris. He knew she wasn't going to win. It's more like, you threw me out, well, you're going to lose. She spent $1 billion, $1 billion. And yet they owe like $20 million. People are receiving texts today, which is Saturday, after the election, for asking for money because she owes money. But she was paying Oprah $1 million for an interview, and she was paying all these celebrities to come to her rallies. That didn't work, because that's not how you become president of the United States of America. Let's be real. See, the Democrats, like Kamala Harris, go too much to the left. They're concerned about the 1%. And they impose those ideas of the 1% of the extreme left on everybody in the Democratic Party. That's why they lost the Hispanic community. That's why so many African Americans voted for Trump. That's why many white women voted for Trump. Okay, if you go too much to the left, nobody's going to care for your ideas. You're talking about that you agree with trans operations for illegals who happen to be in jail. You spend billions of dollars in Ukraine, and we have actually millions of people living on the street. The other day I said this, and it's very true. $7 for butter. How can butter cost $7? When Trump and Harris administration came into, inflation was like 1.4. But they stopped a lot of the Trump regulations. They stopped drilling. What happens if oil becomes more expensive? Think about it. Doesn't that mean that gasoline and diesel and fuel, jet fuel is more expensive? Of course it is, which means transportation is more expensive, which means taking food from one place to another costs more money. There's too many large cities like LA and New York and Chicago and Dallas, and you gotta take food to these large city areas, and it costs money. So what's that gonna cost? If diesel goes up dramatically to way high, food is gonna cost a lot more money. But when you pay $7 for butter, now if you're in The View, or if you work for MSNBC, or you're an anchor at CNN, these are left-wing outlets. Of course they say there's nothing wrong. They make too much money. You think Whoopi can't afford $7 butter? Or Joy? Or Sunny? Of course they can. They're rich. But see, they don't talk about the 67% of Americans 67% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, which means what? If they lose their jobs, they're flat broke in 10 days. Very simple. And if you have to take care of children, your household, your family, and you're living check to check, and butter was a lot cheaper 4 years ago than what it is today. And the Democrats only want to talk about gay issues and trans issues and everything but the real issues. The number one issues in this election was the economy. It's common sense. The second issue was the border. The border is a big problem. Yet, nobody talks about that. The border is a huge problem. Millions of people just barged into our country, and the local cities and governments were taking care of these people. What about the American people? What about us? Okay, so now you got governors like from Illinois and California and others saying they're going to resist. The question is, do they want to resist, or do they want to come out on TV like saying, I want to run for president in 28. This is why I'm resisting. Okay? And I don't care what they do. Once people see this new administration, how they're going to bring prices down and how they're going to secure that border and finish that wall, these people are not going to go back to the Democratic Party, because the Democratic Party, despite the fact they have all the media on their side, okay, you know, they criticize Elon Musk, he's the owner of X, because he's with Donald Trump. Well, the man saw the injustice, and he didn't want to talk about gay problems and trans problems and problems that are the 1%. You got to take care of the great majority of people. You think Hispanics, for example, they were surprised 55% of men voted for Trump. I keep saying it. We have more in common with the Republicans than we do with the Democrats. A, we believe in God. B, we're pro-life, most of us. I'm talking about the majority, not everybody. And C, we believe in family. And we want to have jobs. That's what we care about. The Democrats don't get it. And they're coming up with this excuse and that excuse, and they're saying this and that. If they don't go back to, even Clinton was a good president, okay? He was a good president, okay? Jimmy Carter was a lousy president. It was another Joe Biden, okay? But you got to go back to Kennedy, okay, and Roosevelt. Those were good presidents. Those were people who didn't talk about trans and gay problems. They talked about issues, okay? And they talked about religion because they were religious people. The foundations of our country is religion, it's God, family, nation. These people forget, and they think that we're going to adjust to their agenda. They can make all the excuses they want in life. But if they don't change their evil ways, like Carlos Santana would say, it's going to be the same result in 28. I don't care what Newsom and the other governor and this senator and that person says. It's not going to work. Kamala picked the wrong running mate, some people say. And no matter who she would have picked, she was not set up to be the president of the United States. She doesn't have the IQ. She's the giggler. She likes to The United States is not a laughing matter. She was the person in charge of the border. What did she do? If that's her only goddamn job and you do a bad job, you're supposed to get fired. Okay, that's how the real world works. It's not gray. It's either black or white. Either you do a good job or get the hell out of here. So now everybody's crying. You turn on the TV, MSNBC, CNN. You know who's having a good time is Fox News. They're laughing at all these people, and I agree with Fox News. It's a time to laugh at these idiots, stupid people. If you don't go back to how do you fix things? Religion fixes things. Coming together fixes things. You come together when there's more religion in our country, and there has been throughout history. Okay? But if they don't get this thing running the right direction, it's never going to work. Okay? I'm glad Donald J. Trump is our president-elect and future president. Number 45 and 47. Okay? And we're going to have a great 4 years. And hopefully, future Vice President Vance will be our next president. We need to continue. Okay. I don't know. We need to love our country. Take care of ourselves, our borders, not Ukraine's borders. We got to stop the war in Ukraine. We got to stop the war in Israel. There's got to be peace. This is why everybody wants Donald Trump as president. And he's going to get this job done. And yes, I get a lot of bad emails from people saying, I'm now too much to the right. No. I voted for Joe Biden. I will never vote Democrat again, ever. Not with these ideas. You got to be in the center. People don't want to hear about problems that don't affect their lives. People want to hear about insurance, how expensive it is, how food is expensive, how gasoline is expensive, how rent and mortgages went out through the roof. They don't want to hear this idiot got a operation, now he's competing with women sports, even in the Olympics. I saw an Italian woman boxer get beat up by a guy who was a guy, now he claims to be a woman. That's not right. You see, we cannot do that. We got to go back to who we are. We're the leaders of the free world. We're the leaders of the world. Okay? And this shit with Iran who wants to kill Trump, they better knock it off, or else they're not going to exist. And they shouldn't if they want to try to kill our president. I want to thank everybody for watching our show. Thank you for tuning in to the Mario Perspective USA show. My name is Mario Gutierrez, and I'm very happy to answer your emails. Sometimes they're kind of tough, but we're here for our people. We represent the Hispanic community, mainly the Mexican-American part of the Hispanic community, which is the largest. And I always tell people, remember, we are the largest minority in the United States. It's not the black community. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll soon be with you again.